Hey, what's up, everyone? Joker here from Joker Against the World. Give me all the love I know you have. Click that like, click that subscribe button. But for now, let's just get into the video.
Hey, child support's not always fair. I just had a case where mom had taken dad to court. She was making about $10 an hour, working 25 hours a week, menial job. Dad was working for a big corporation, putting in between 40 and 45 hours a week, making some overtime. Court hit him with $800 a month in child support. No big deal. So he goes out, he gets a second job. So he's working part-time, a second job, making $15 an hour, working about 20 to 25 hours a week to offset the decrease in his income from having to pay child support. Well, guess what? They take him back to court a year later and they say, hey, we're going to hit you with another $500 a month in child support because of this second job. Now, mom's still working 20 to 25 hours a week, making $10 an hour. Dad's now working between 70 and 75 a week, making overtime with a second job, and now his child support goes up another $500. Doesn't seem fair, does it?
I know that's a rhetorical question, but yes, absolutely, it's not fair. I know the state is gonna try to make as much money as they can off you, but it's still ridiculous. They're pretty much forcing the guy to keep his two jobs, working 70, 80 hours a week, just so he can keep up with paying child support. It's ridiculous.
When the son was 16 and the daughter 15, they both came to live with dad. Dad had been paying child support to mom, but mom was having some issues of her own and couldn't really deal with the kids, so she let dad take them. They agreed among themselves that he didn't have to pay her child support as long as he had custody of them and took care of them. Well, the problem is there was no court order stopping child support. Well, dad went on and raised the kids, didn't pay child support, even sent them to college, paid for their college tuition, as a matter of fact. They both graduated, did really well, have good jobs now. Well, move forward 9 years. The state takes dad to court and says, hey, you owe child support for that time period you didn't pay when the kids were 15 to 18 years old. You got to pay it back. Not only that, but you got to pay the interest back as well. Dad argued, hey, wait a second, I raised these kids during that time period. Court said, too bad. You never went back and changed that order. What do you think about that? Do you think the state should allow dad to go back and change the order and modify it retroactively? Or do you think dad should be on the hook for the child support that he didn't pay even while he had custody of the kids?
And that pretty much shows you that some laws are just idiotic. He had full custody of his kids and he still needs to pay child support? Even if he's forced to pay child support for those 9 years, who is he gonna pay child support to? Himself? The mother is not entitled to any type of money. He did have full custody of his kids. So the real question should be, who is he gonna pay child support to? Himself? Just so the state can get some more money? Or is he gonna be forced to pay child support to his ex-wife, who was not even the one raising those kids for the 9 years?
Dad was paying child support of about $750 a month for 2 children based on his income of $50,000 a year. Well, about 2 years into his child support obligation, he ended up inheriting a large sum of money, about $1 million, when his grandparents passed away. Mom got wind of that and hired a lawyer and took dad back to court and asked for an increase in child support, claiming that that inheritance that he received should be included in income to increase dad's income, thereby increasing his child support obligation. Well, the court agreed. And what the court did is it took the amount of money that he inherited, divided that by the number of years that the children would be minors and he would have a child support obligation, and then increased dad's income by that amount. Dad ended up having to pay child support now based on $150,000 a year of income when you included that inheritance in there. What do you think about that? Do you think that's fair?
So the guy was paying child support and he just got screwed both by his state and his ex-wife. What's even crazier is that she never claimed that her expenses raising those kids got bigger. She only claimed that his income got bigger and she's entitled to more money. And obviously the state wanting to make more money, they decided that he should pay more child support. Still thinking you want to get married? Maybe think twice before you do it.
If I'm talking to you and you're getting married, you need to make sure that your old bank account that had $50,000 in it stays with the $50,000, and that when you get married, you open up a new account, a new bank account, a new savings account, a new checking account. You need to separate the money that you earn during the marriage from the money you had prior to the marriage. And do not put any monies that you are earning during the marriage into your prior premarital accounts. That money that you are putting in there loses its separate identity. Now it's marital and your spouse is entitled to half of it. That's what you need to do in order to protect your premarital monies.
Well, I'm not really sure that would work, but hey, you're the divorce lawyer, I'm gonna take your word for it. The problem with that is when you're stupid enough to fall in love and get married, you're not gonna think about saving your money. You're probably just gonna want to spend it with your wife, vacations or whatever. Because let's be honest, no one is going into a marriage thinking that it's gonna end in divorce. But other than that, it sounds like a good advice, and you should do it if you're considering getting married.
If you own a house and you're getting married, listen to this because it could save you a fortune. Do not put your spouse's name on the title. Even if you're getting a mortgage and the mortgage company seems to tell you that you have to put your wife on the title, you don't. Do not put your wife on the title, even if she has to sign the mortgage. If you put your spouse's name on it, your spouse is going to own half the house.
Now, that is absolutely a sound advice. Make sure you protect whatever you have before you're going into a marriage. Because the truth is, as soon as she's gonna file for divorce, her eyes are gonna turn over to that house. And now, in the end, I will be sharing a couple of true stories with you guys, not really related to court, but related to life. I was part of a military unit that was actually the first military unit to be deployed outside of our borders. That was like 94, 95, and the first story goes like this. The guy gets deployed, goes to the airport with his unit. For whatever reasons, the flight was delayed 14, 16 hours, something like that. So he decides to run home, maybe for a quickie, get some rest, get some food, whatever his reasons were. Gets back home, goes inside the house, finds another man there sleeping in his bed, sleeping in this guy's pajamas. Obviously, they go into a physical fight. Police shows up. He was taken down to the precinct, gets into a lot of trouble with the police, and gets into even more problems with his unit. He even ended up missing his deployment, only because his wife could not even wait until he was actually leaving the country before she called the next guy in. Now, the second story is even more tragic. This guy actually makes his deployment. Everything works great. He was talking to his wife back home whenever he got the chance, because that was even before cell phones were an actual thing. And every time she was the perfect wife, telling her husband, you make sure you're safe, take care of yourself, all the blah blah. The guy finishes his deployment, goes home, he can find his wife. His own house was not even his anymore. She somehow managed to forge all the paperwork so she can get divorced and sell the house that wasn't even hers. So in a matter of minutes, the guy managed to lose everything he ever had. And there are so many other stories where wives or girlfriends even managed to empty their bank account, so the guys came back to nothing. And I'm not gonna be the one telling you not to get married or get married, but you really need to consider what may happen, and you need to ask yourself all the questions before you're getting married. If she's the one pushing you into getting married, why does she do it? Does she want that perfect wedding dress so she can post it all over social media? Does she only want that big ring so she has something to brag in front of her friends with? Does she want you and for who you are? Or does she want that big pension? But anyway, I made this long enough. Time for me to end it here. As always, I do hope you enjoy the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.